In this video, I want to show you how to wire up a pre-plumbed cylinder using the higher wiring station. So I'll go through it wire by wire. So a few things to start with. Take the cover off the PCB, nice and simply, power supply down the bottom here, which needs to be big enough to actually drive the immersion. While we're on the subject of the immersion heater, your immersion heater here is wired into these two terminals. So terminal number 2 and 4 at the bottom. That cable comes down and goes into your immersion heater as standard. So that's nice and easy, that's the power done. The next thing that we need to do is we need to take the tank sensor, which in our case is here. We're going to run through the unit and bring that up into the system, and that is going to be wired into these two terminals here, which you can see are labeled 17 and 18, and that's in T tank up. It doesn't matter about polarity, and you can shorten the sensor because it comes at 10 meters long. The next thing that you need to wire up is your primary pump, which is this one over here. So this is the pump which is going to send the water back and forward to the heat pump. So this cable here, you're going to bring it in all the way through the unit, and this goes into here, live and neutral. Be very careful. If you use a very large pump, you'll kill these relays. So we're looking at a pump of under 150 watts on these terminals. Anything bigger, you need a relay in here or you'll be burning it out. Okay, in this particular application, we're coming out of a secondary pump after a buffer, so pump 1, and a zone valve, which we call zone 1, so this is only a single zone system. So we're actually going to wire these two together. So we're bringing the cables in, and you can see here that there's a little terminal which is called pump 1, which is terminals number 11 and 12. Nice and easy, just count them along. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 11 and 12 are here. So you can see I've got two wires in here, so that the pump and that valve both run together. If you were running a second zone or a second pump, you would stick this into pump 2, and that would be your second zone. Next thing, 3-port valve for heating and hot water. So this here, nice and simply, bring the cable up. This goes into the bottom of the terminal block here. You can see it's actually going into terminal number 2 and 3. So there's a screw missing here, but this is 2 and 3. So that's your 3-port valve done. What you can also do is you're going to need some run signals. So back from your zones, in this case, it's got a underfloor heating manifold over here. So a run cable comes back off the boiler terminal. They're going to run that into here. So if you look on the top of the wiring sensor, you see it says zone 1 on off. And we're going to stick that in there. So when that shorts, the unit will run. When that breaks, the unit will stop. You don't have to, but you can put a sensor in here. So this is called temperature of zone 1. So it's measuring the temperature coming out the buffer. So this is going in here, and we've actually put a sensor in for zone 2. You don't need this because we haven't got a second zone, but if you have, you need these. And you need to clip these into the pipework or stick them in the pocket. We've just done a simple cable tie on here, which is not really sufficient, but it's for training. But you would normally insulate that with thermal paste and so on, or get it into a pocket. The black controller, as we like to call it, which is the controller for the service engineer, so this is not for homeowners. This is nice and simple. It comes loose, and you just plug it into this plug, stick it together, and off you go. So that is all you need for wiring, apart from the last one, which is between your indoor and outdoor unit. You have this cable here, P and Q, which is 31 and 32. A little bit of 2-core, nice bit of screens flex. Doesn't need to be very big, smaller is better. Out to the outdoor unit. Doesn't matter about polarity on that one either. Once you've done that, what you need to do is look for the video which tells you how to set the system up through the controller. So you don't just turn it on and it runs, you have to tell the unit what you've done. It takes a few minutes, but very simple.